Hello everyone, my name is Glenn Heil. I'm the Media Relations Director here at IWYF USA. And today actually we prepared a short presentation for you to let you know about an upcoming event that we're having. Now first, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of IWYF World Camp? Well, if you haven't, you should know this is actually the 4th time that we're going to be doing it here in New York. We've done it from 2011 all the way till this year, and it's getting bigger and bigger every time. We have thousands of students coming to Long Island to gather for this 5-day program. We have special guest speakers, we have VIPs, we have cultural groups coming. There's just a lot of people that are being involved, and we really want you to also know about this wonderful program. So today we're going to show you a short presentation. It's our information session, give you all the details and what you need to know for IWYF World Camp. All right, let's take a look. Now first, before we get into the details of the program, we'd really like to talk about the purpose of this year's camp. Now, every World Camp that we do here in New York has a theme. Last year the theme was Open, Connect, and Change, and this year the theme is Meet Your Future You. Now what this means exactly is when we gather our students here for World Camp, whether they be from high school or college, we want to show them that the challenges they're facing now, the difficulties they have now, the struggles they have now are not all that there is to it. Really, once they complete this program, they'll learn what it means to have faith, what it means to have hope, what it means to have the heart to be able to overcome these challenges so that when they look at themselves a year from now or 5 years from now, even 10 years from now, they'll see themselves as a leader, as a whole new person who was able to overcome life's difficulties through that heart of hope and faith that IWYF hopes to instill. So that is why we are calling this camp IWYF World Camp Meet Your Future You. Now, let's get into a little bit of the basic details about this year's World Camp. Now, first of all, it's going to be a 5-day program from August 24th, which is a Sunday, through August 28th, Thursday. And we do our programs at 2 different venues. Now, if you'll see, we have our campus here in Huntington, Long Island. It is called Mannheim Campus. It's a very, very beautiful 11-acre campus where we'll have all of our daytime programs, whether it be IWYF Academies, whether it be the special guest lectures, breakfast and lunch, and all the daytime programs. But in the evening, we'll be going to Long Island University's CW Post Campus, Tillis Center for the Performing Arts. Now this is a really, really beautiful auditorium that can seat over 2,000 people, and that is where we're going to have our opening ceremony, evening performances, the Gracias Choir Easter Cantata, and also the Gracias Choir Christmas Cantata as well. Now all events there are going to be free and open to the public. So not only our World Camp participants are invited, but actually anyone who would like to witness these amazing concerts and performances is welcome to come as well. So there you have it. Those are the basic dates and the venues of this year's camp. But really what makes the World Camp great are the programs. And the schedule is very, very busy. It's very packed. And the students and teachers and anyone who's involved is going to have plenty on their plate from the time they wake up in the morning until they go to sleep. So let's talk about some of the most important programs. Now the first and most important program of World Camp is called our Spiritual Development Sessions. Now these are actually done by the founder of the IWYF, Pastor Oksu Park. He is a pastor from South Korea who founded this program back in 2001 with the heart believing that it is not only important for a student to have a strong educational or intellectual foundation, but also it is very important for the student to have a strong spiritual foundation. Because when you have a strong foundation in your spiritual aspects, that is where peace, hope, joy, and also faith can come from, and those are the most important tools to be used when overcoming life's difficulties on your path to leadership. And that is why we use the Bible as our guide and our textbook to looking into the world of the heart and how the heart can receive hope and how the heart can become strong through faith in order to reach that level that we are desiring to be at as leaders. So each morning and each evening, Pastor Oksu Park and many other guest speakers will be delivering these spiritual development sessions for all of the students. Now, it is not only going to be a spiritual development session as a group, but also we have our group fellowship sessions as well. Now, I should mention this from the beginning that IWYF World Camp is done in a group-based setting, meaning that students, no matter where they're from, whether they're from Los Angeles, or Dallas, Texas, or Detroit, or Miami, Florida, or maybe they're from here in New York. No matter where you're from, you're going to be in a group of students, maybe 10 to 15 students with a teacher, and you guys will be traveling together and sticking together for the duration of the program. Now, this isn't just to make the logistics convenient, but more importantly, this is for the opportunity where you will have a chance to fellowship with your fellow peers and your teacher, meaning you'll have a chance to open up your hearts. Connect with your friends by talking about your lives, talking about the difficulties that you may have faced, and also talking about the world of the heart and how it's so important to be able to communicate and avoid things such as isolation, bad habits, and etc. and etc. So this group fellowship time is a really, really great time for our students to be able to have those kind of dialogues in a very personal and safe setting. And the students, no matter whether they be from in town or out of state, they're going to be with other students probably that they've never met before from other regions, in some cases even other cultures. Some of our participants even come from overseas. So it's a very, very good opportunity to exchange culture and to also exchange hearts. So next I'd like to talk about the world-class music aspect of World Camp. Now before we have our daily spiritual development sessions, we're going to have performances from the award-winning and world-renowned Gracias Choir. Now all of the Gracias Choir members are IWYF members also, but they have since become a professional choir that has actually won many, many prestigious competitions and awards throughout the world. They're on their way to becoming the best choral group worldwide. They're going to perform a really, really diverse selection of music for us, whether it be with the orchestra, with the choir, or even a mix. Now I'm going to talk a little bit later about the bigger concerts that they'll be doing, but what I want you to know now that is, the reason for this classical music aspect of the program is that really this music gives our student participants a chance to relax, to meditate, and to really think about life, and also to have a chance to look back on the day. And it's really, really calming. And we believe that classical music has that power that few other genres have. So this is really world-class stuff that is going to be exposed to our students, and they'll really, really enjoy it. Now the Gracias Choir, as you'll see, is a very, very large group. They're made up of members from all over the world, and it adds more to the international flavor of the World Camp. Now in the morning times, before we embark for our afternoon activities and evening programs at the Tillis Center, we're going to have our special guest leadership speakers, where we invite one special speaker to give us a speech each day. Now to give you an idea about what this looks like, I'll tell you some of the speakers we've had in the past. The first year we did this program, we invited, for example, the former presidential chef, Sam Morgante, who had actually cooked for the president in the White House. And then in other years, we've invited the national Fox News anchor, Kelly Wright. And we've also invited two-time Olympic gold medalist, Susan Francia, and the other Olympic gold medalist, Dana He. And last year, we also invited Dr. Jane Aronson, who is the founder of the Worldwide Orphans Foundation. This year, we're going to give you a preview of just 3 of the speakers that we've invited so far. Now first, we're going to have Carol Stern, who is the CEO of UNICEF here in the United States, and also Dr. Eushin Edmund Kim, who is a world-renowned cancer researcher. And finally, Dr. Joaquim de Posada, a New York Times bestselling author well known for his book, Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet. Now that's just all I can tell you for now to who's coming this year, but we'll keep you updated on who else will be joining us as the day gets closer. Now what I want you to know is that these leadership speakers, when they come and give a speech, they're not coming just to talk about their success or to talk about their position and what they do in their job. Really, it's more about the process that took them to where they are today. What kind of challenges they had to overcome, how they were able to press forward and get to where they are, what was different about their mindset and their heart that separated them from the rest of the pack. These are the kind of stories that our leadership speakers share with us. They're very personal, very thoughtful, and very heartfelt as well. These are kinds of experiences that our students won't be able to get anywhere else, but because these speakers are so supportive and have been supportive of IWYF's mission, that is why they're agreeing to come and give this kind of speech for our students. So I hope you'll look forward to that and also to hearing these wonderful stories that they have prepared for us. Now, next I want to talk about probably one of the most fun aspects of World Camp, and that is the cultural experience and exhibition. Now this actually means 2 different things. Now number 1 is, similar to how we have the Gracias Choir performing music concerts every morning and evening before our spiritual development session, we're also going to have cultural performances every morning and evening as well. Now these performances are dance and song performances from a variety of countries, whether it be from South American countries, countries in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, or even right here in the United States. We have groups of students, that's right, these are not professionals, but these are volunteer IWYF students who have prepared their choreography, their costumes, their music, and everything. They really put on top-of-the-line quality experiences for us through these performances. Now, besides the cultural performance aspect of World Camp, we have another cultural program called Cultural Exhibition. Now, we've actually been doing cultural exhibitions in Manhattan for the past 3 years, preceding our World Camp at Foley Square Park and also Union Square Park. Now, as you'll see, what culture is it's an exhibition where we set up booths, we have games, activities, arts and crafts, food, costumes, and again, more performances that is all arranged and organized by our students. When students come to World Camp to participate, and when they are shown this cultural exhibition, the good thing about it is we're showing them to broaden their perspective, to also widen their hearts and be able to accept new things that may be different from what they're used to. IWYF is very, very dedicated to volunteer services abroad and also to international cohesion. That is a big part of our mission. It's a big part of all of our annual programs. So these students, by coming to culture, they're able to have a sort of stepping stone into jumping into the much larger world, into learning about something much larger than themselves, something very different, but also something very exciting and challenging. Hopefully one day it'll even lead to them volunteering overseas through one of IWYF's overseas volunteer programs. So that is the cultural exhibition. Now, another very, very big, important morning program that will be held at Mannheim is called IWYF Academy. Now, IWYF Academy is just like it sounds. It's an educational academy put on for our students to learn about new topics. Now, what kind of topics are these? This isn't traditional math, English, science. This is actually a selection of classes that have been put together and designed and are being taught by business professionals, by some of the biggest names in the industry, even by big corporations who come and represent themselves and prepare a very, very specific curriculum for our students. For example, in the past we've had a Taekwondo Academy, where our students were able to learn Taekwondo and other martial arts from professional black belts and grandmasters in Taekwondo. We've also had certain coffee chains come and teach about the art of coffee making, what is important to know and consider when brewing coffee. And also we've had many other kinds of companies, such as car companies who will bring in brand new cars off the lot and teach us car maintenance and mechanics off of that car. We've also had very, very famous and well-known photographers whose photos are published in some of the biggest publications in the country to come and teach about the art of photography. We've also had basketball professionals come and teach a basketball academy. We have our Righteous Stars dance team teach dance for the students. The list could go on, but what I want you to know is that these academies are serving as also a gateway for students to be able to look into something much larger. Maybe they're going to have an idea about what they want to do with their futures if they're not sure yet. And even if not, this is just all in all a very good educational experience for students to be exposed to a lot of new topics and a lot of new skills that they'll be able to use in the future. And finally, it's just a lot of fun as well to be able to choose any kind of class you'd like to go to and to be able to go there with your friends and have fun each day in the morning. So that is our IWYF Academy. Now in the afternoon, we're not going to be staying at Mannheim campus, but we'll actually be taking our students outside for a number of team building activities. Now what this means is students will be put in very, very challenging situations and activities where they have to work together as a team and able to complete their task or their mission. For example, we're going to have a 5K run during the World Camp. That means our students are going to have to be running 5 kilometers from beginning to end, and everyone has to complete it. Now obviously a marathon or a 5K run is something that you do on your own. You're running by yourself. But in IWYF, our group members and our team members, because they've already been together for a few days, they learn how to help each other to overcome this marathon and to win. And when they complete the 5K run, whether they're first place or last place, that feeling of accomplishment is a really, really good metaphor for how we have to overcome our difficulties in life. And the sense of accomplishment that the students get at the end is very rewarding too. Now also, in the afternoons, we're going to have a scavenger hunt activity where our students and teams will be running around. Depending on how big we do it, we could do it within the town. We could do it just within this campus. We could make it even much bigger. The students will be running around solving clues and also completing special problems and tasks, which are pretty challenging to complete because we've had a few years' experience designing these scavenger hunts before. So far what we've talked about is our morning programs and then our afternoon programs, which have taken place at Mannheim and then outside in the afternoon. Now in the evening, as I said earlier, we're going to be gathering at the Tillis Center for Performing Arts at CW Post campus here in Long Island. Now at CW Post, we're going to have three really big events that I want you all to know about. Number one is the opening ceremony, which will be held on the 24th at 6:50 p.m. Now the opening ceremony this year is very special because this is going to kick off the entire World Camp, but also it's going to serve as an introduction into our organization for all of our distinguished guests, partnered organizations and sponsors, and the general public who would like to know more about what our organization is doing. The night's going to kick off with cultural performances, both from our IWYF groups and outside groups. We're going to have a concert, of course, by the Gracias Choir. We'll have welcoming addresses and congratulatory addresses from distinguished VIPs from both New York and also from abroad. And finally, we're going to have a welcoming address from the founder of IWYF, Pastor Oksu Park. Again, this event is open and free to the public. We'd like to invite everyone to come and to take a look to see what IWYF is all about. And you'll also have the chance to hear about not only what are we doing here in New York for World Camp, but what we're doing all over the world for the youth. So that'll be our opening ceremony on the 24th. Now, on the 27th, we're going to have the first of Gracias Choir's two signature performances, which is called the Gracias Easter Cantata. Now, I know it's not Easter when we're doing this World Camp. It's going to be the end of August, getting into the fall. However, this Easter Cantata is a performance that Gracias does all over the world because of the content and the meaning of the story. As you all know, the Easter story, it can be considered by many to be a very sad story of the suffering that Christ went through leading up to his death. However, Gracias Choir has made this Easter story into something that's very joyful and very, very moving and beautiful and touching. So this Easter Cantata, it's a very eclectic performance with singing, with acting, with detailed set pieces and costumes, and with a really, really moving story, and also really, really touching music pieces that they've recomposed, that they've remastered, and they've redesigned to perform for you. So again, this Easter Cantata performance is also open to the public. We'd like to invite all of you to attend this event, again on the 27th, which is a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So the final performance that's going to actually end the entire World Camp will be the Gracias Choir Christmas Cantata. This is Gracias Choir's most renowned and signature performance that they perform all over the world every year. Again, it's not going to be Christmas when the Christmas Cantata is performed. It is the end of July, and it will still be 80 degrees outside. But I guarantee when you're sitting in the Tillis Center watching this performance, you're going to forget all about that. You'll really think you're in the middle of Christmas. Now, this is a performance that has many, many different stages. It starts off taking you back to Bethlehem when Jesus was born over 2,000 years ago. And then it'll take you to a more modern, contemporary Christmas story that's something like you'd see in a Broadway musical. And then finally it ends with the whole choir and orchestra performing the very well-known Handel's Oratorio, with some of the most well-known and beloved pieces of all time. So that is the Christmas Cantata, and this is also an event that is open and free to the public, but I have to warn you that seats fill really fast because people really, really love this show, and it's becoming a regular tradition for people in the community to attend Christmas Cantata every year, any time of the year, whether it's actually Christmas or not. So I'd also strongly encourage everyone to please inquire and get involved with the Christmas Cantata too, because seats are going fast. Okay everyone, so there you have it. That is our information session for you. I hope I've given you a lot of information on World Camp. You've been listening to me for the past few minutes now, so I think you've learned a lot about all of our programs and our schedule and our mission. But if you're not sure yet, then go to IWYFUSA.org and find out what it takes to be an IWYF World Camp participant. Whether you're a student or maybe a student's parent, maybe you're just someone from the community who wants to come watch a Gracias Choir concert. Well then, don't just sit there on your computer typing away. Type IWYFUSA.org and then check out our World Camp program. I'm going to be there. Everyone who is involved in making this information session is going to be there. So we want to see you there too. Again, it's August 24th through the 28th, which looks like it's far away, but it's actually right around the corner. Okay, so no matter where you are, East Coast, West Coast, North or South, we're going to have a lot of people gathering for this program. I hope that you can be there too. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you at the World Camp.